Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Upkick MMA, episode 275. I am Brendan. PFL number 4 from 2023. This is the first fight, or the first fight night in the second half of the regular season for the PFL. So we're going to break it down here. We're going to cover the main card, like the late card, whatever they call it, here with Loughnane versus Pinedo. I'm going to cover all the fights here, break them down round by round, go over implications. We'll look at the playoffs set up so far for featherweights and light heavyweights. Real quick, before we get started, I would appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of stuff. That way you'll know when the next video is coming out. I've been breaking down fights for a few years now, and then also doing The Ultimate Fighter if you like that kind of stuff. So go ahead and follow that series. Let's get started. Wow. What an upset. All right, so Brendan Loughnane, I've become a big fan of his over the past couple of years, and obviously last year him winning the $1 million in the featherweight division. This upset is huge. It's a big difference maker for the PFL. It's a big difference maker for their playoff series because their champion, or their last year's champion, is no longer in the playoffs. He was going into this. He had 5 points, and we'll look at the playoff standings, but he is no longer in the playoffs because of that. Because Pinedo, with this finish in the first round, gets 6 points. So Pinedo was aggressive, trying to land hooks. Nice right hand from Brendan, and then he landed a low kick. Brendan looked like he was doing pretty well. It looks like he was handling Pinedo's aggression pretty well, but I think he came out a little flat in this fight. I don't think he came out with the same kind of tenacity and the same kind of emphasis that he normally does or has in the past. In the past couple fights, because he knew that he was already in the playoffs. All he had to do was coast here. And it's not that he was coming out bad. I still think he looked really good, but Pinedo caught him. He finished him with an awkward knee that it came up right at the top, hit him right on the chin, and that was the end of the night. It was incredible. What a great finish for Pinedo, and a heartbreaker for Brendan here. And you can see it right here this is from the side view. Right there, that knee that comes up and just puts him out. Incredible finish for Pinedo. And like I said, a great finish for him, a great way to get into the playoffs. Let's wait till the very end, and then we'll go over who's in the playoffs and who got bounced. All right. Kind of unfortunate, too, for Chris Wade. That sucks. Yeah. All right. Co-main event here. Movlid Khaybulaev versus Tyler Diamond. This was a pretty good one. This was, it looked like Movlid was in control, right? It didn't look like he was ever challenged or like he was in trouble or anything like that. But Tyler was making a good account for himself. It looked like he was going to be able to hold him off, and maybe make Khaybulaev not make the playoffs because he would only have 6 points, and because if things shook out differently, there would be 2 decision wins, and he would have no finishes, so he wouldn't have made the playoffs. But that's not how it worked out. He gets a finish here in the second round. So first round, Diamond was the one pressuring forward using the jab. The left hook landed from Khaybulaev, staggering Diamond, and then he threw a series of flying knees that didn't land. Great left hook for the body from Diamond. Nice right-hand counter from Diamond at one point. You look at the striking numbers here. There's 29 landed from Khaybulaev, so it wasn't like it was... Diamond was coming out here and really putting it on him. He wasn't. He was just, like I said, making a good account for himself. Khaybulaev actually landed a flying knee at the end of the first round, and Diamond barely survived till the end of the round. So 10-9 goes to Khaybulaev. And then the second round here, Khaybulaev just put a stamp on it and said, "I'm making it to the playoffs. I don't care what you guys do. I am in there." He gets this. He gets a position, hops over. You see this beautiful the knee slice that he goes through, gets to mount, and then immediately goes to side control with that arm triangle and gets the finish. It was a tight one, too, and gets the tap. Great finish for Khaybulaev. All right. Moving on. I know we're moving quick, but I'm trying to keep these videos a little bit shorter. All right. Sam Kai versus Marthin Hamlet. This one was weird. The first round, weird, also very boring. This was not a fun fight to watch for a lot of reasons. If you go through here and look at the... let's see. if you look at the striking numbers, a total of 31 strikes from Hamlet and a total of 24 strikes from Sam. And if you know anything about MMA, unless there was some crazy grappling exchanges going on, which there weren't. I mean, there was grappling, but not crazy, and it was more just Hamlet sitting on the back. So Hamlet moved in, struck his way into the clinch, got the takedown. Hamlet on the back going for the rear naked choke. He did this for like 45 seconds, almost a minute. Clearly in control, but never able to get the finish. And then when they get back up, K got back up there, got out of there, and then K started landing some big shots on the feet, but I don't think any of them landed flush. It looked they were off the arms and stuff like that. So clearly 10-9 to Hamlet. Second round here, Hamlet right in on the takedown again, getting the back with the hooks in again, but Kai gets back up, and he attempts the takedown of his own for some reason, and then Hamlet takes the back again, and that's another round for Hamlet. Not a lot of striking, not a lot of successive grappling other than control. So 2018 going to Hamlet. Last round here, the round was not great to watch early with Hamlet landing jabs and backing up. He was avoiding any sort of interaction as much as he could, and because of that, he ends up with losing this round, but it doesn't matter. He was staying safe, and he got the win here, in my opinion, 29-28, and officially gets the win. He gets a unanimous decision here. So good win for him. He's in the playoffs, and he knew that. He was just trying to, I think, conserve himself in that last round. He definitely didn't want to do anything stupid and get caught. All right, Bubba Jenkins taking on Joe Sungbin. This fight was a banger while it lasted. Sungbin landed a right hand as Bubba went in and got the double leg. So he gets a double leg, and then he gets a suplex. Oh, this suplex was fantastic. This belly-to-back suplex. I don't know if they show it here. I'm hoping that we can see it, but he gets his belly to back suplex and flips him over, and then in doing that, he locks up the rear naked choke and puts him right to sleep. Oh, here's a belly to back suplex. Whoop, bam, switches over, puts the hooks in, and then night puts him right to sleep. Fantastic finish for Bubba Jenkins. Beautiful fight from him. Complete performance. All right. And then this is the first fight on the card. Delon Monte versus Joshua Silveira. It's kind of disappointing the way it ended. We don't need to go back and watch it because there wasn't much that happened. So Silveira landed some body kicks right up the middle. He was keeping his distance. He was doing this good job flicking the body kick, up the middle, landing to the midsection. He was trying to sap the cardio of Monte, but also keep distance and stay safe. So with that kick, it didn't really allow Monte to get his offense started at all. Silveira went for a double leg, and then Monte fell down, screaming in pain, grabbing his knee. It was not great, not fun to watch. And I don't mean them fighting. I just mean the injury. That sucked real bad. So let's look at, just to give you guys an idea here. This is what the playoffs look like. The little images here. It will just. So we have the number 1 seed, Bubba Jenkins, versus the number 4 seed, Jesus Pinedo. And then the number 2 seed, Gabriel Braga, versus number 3 seed, Movlid Khaybulaev. And then that was for the featherweights. For the light heavyweight bracket, we got Joshua Silveira versus Ty Flores. Number 1, number 4 there. Number 2, Marthin Hamlet versus number 3, Impa Kasangane. All right, and we will talk about their fights in the next video. This video is just covering the main card here, or the late card, whatever they call it. But let's look at what happened. Just kind of go over what happened because of this loss from Brendan Loughnane, and what happened earlier in the card, which I will talk about later. So Chris Wade ends up winning his fight via finish in the first round. Fantastic win over Ryoji Kudo in the early card. Gets 6 points for it, which puts him in contention to make the playoffs, right? Then later on, Bubba Jenkins gets his finish, right? So he's guaranteed to go in with 9 points. He was the favorite at that point. Actually, no, Braga, him and Braga are tied, but Jenkins had a faster finish. So Bubba Jenkins gets the number 1 seed. Braga gets the number 2 seed. Then Movlid gets the win. He gets the finish, which give him 8 points. Great. So Chris Wade at this point is still in the playoffs. He's still number 4, and he's basically waiting for Loughnane to either if he gets the finish or the win, Chris Wade's out and Loughane's in. And then, the bracket would shake out from there however it would. But Brendan Loughnane gets finished in the first round. So because of that, Pinedo jumps the line because he got the finish faster than Wade got his finish. And now Pinedo's in the playoffs. Unbelievable. It's crazy. It's not that he just did that out of nowhere. It's that he had a close fight with Gabriel Braga earlier in and they're not going to rematch unless they both come out of their bracket. I don't know if Braga's going to beat Khaybulaev, but we'll find out. But the thing is, they're not going to necessarily rematch. It's not a guarantee they're going to rematch in the playoffs here. The only time they would see it is in the championship. Yes. So I'm interested in the playoffs. I think I think my pick would be Khaybulaev as the favorite. I think he's probably got the most skills, being the former champion. He was the champion 2 years ago. Braga's got a lot of talent. He could get the win over Khaybulaev, and we could see it, but I don't know yet. He had that close fight with Pinedo, the split decision win earlier this year. Pinedo's got a lot of skills, but we've seen that he can lose as well, especially in close fights. And he's got to get over Bubba Jenkins, who, other than Brendan last year, was looking like a world beater. So I don't know. I was rooting for Brendan to make it to the playoffs again. I know, and part of this also plays into the fact that he actually didn't want to compete this year. He wanted to take some time off because it was only 8 months since his last fight. And he wanted to take some time off, similar to how Kayla Harrison is doing it, right? Kayla Harrison isn't fighting they didn't have the division fight this year because she wanted to take a break. And she doesn't get penalized for it. She doesn't get cut from the PFL, and her contract doesn't get changed. But Brendan mentioned those things, and then he was not treated the same, right? Because he is not the premier face or name of the organization. So he's not getting the same kind of treatment. Do I think everybody deserves equal treatment? No. I just think it's an interesting conversation that, to be had, where Brendan wanted to take some time off, but he couldn't. He was forced into this season, and he's also a former champion. It's not like he's some nobody. He was the champion last year, and now he has to go in for whatever reason he didn't want to. Maybe he was feeling under the weather. Maybe his body needed to recover. Maybe he wanted to work on some things. Maybe he wanted to spend time with his family. Whatever it might be, he wasn't allowed to do that, and he had to get right back into training camp. So there's a lot of things that played into this outside. I don't think those are excuses. I think he performed pretty well, very well in his first fight, and I think this fight he was doing just fine. He was probably kind of taking his time a little bit, waiting for Pinedo to kind of expose some weaknesses, and then he was going to take advantage of them in the long run. It just didn't make it that far, and he got caught early, so shit happens. Decent night of fights. Most of them moved at a quick pace, but some, like that Sam K one or Key one, that was not a good fight. You could probably skip that one. If you guys are interested in these, go watch the Bubba Jenkins. Go watch, Joshua Silveira is not much of a highlight there. It's not nobody's fault. Khaybulaev, you want to watch him dominate. That was a good one. And Brian Loughnane in the main event. So this whole main card, this whole late card wasn't too bad. All right, that's it for the main card. In the next video, we're going to do the early cards. I appreciate y'all for stopping by. It means a lot to me. Subscribe to the channel if you want to know when the next video is coming out, and it also helps me out, so I super appreciate that. If this is the only video you watch this weekend, I appreciate y'all for stopping by. Love y'all.